Hey guys, it's Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. We're looking here at a Toyota Chaser JZX90. That's the rear-wheel drive super sedan of the 90s. Comes with the 1JZ engine, and I call it a super sedan. It was basically just a fast sedan here in Japan, but I guess nowadays people love them so much because of their ability in drifting and in tuning culture and just the lovely, lovely 1JZ engine in it. These are so fun to drive, and I've driven this one. I got a chance to drive it from one parking spot to the other. not just like that parking spot to that parking spot, but no. Drove it probably about 3 kilometers, and oh my gosh, so nice to drive these. The engine is just so lovely. Okay, so it's a 2.5 liter. This is a twin turbo. The single turbo ones came out in I think 1996, but this one here is a twin turbo, earlier generation. 93,903 kilometers. The timing belt was done. At the moment, this car has 112,000 kilometers, and this one's going to the USA under the 25-year rule, and has the 5-speed manual transmission. Take a look at that. So the 5-speed manual ones are like $6,000 or $7,000 more than the regular ones, and so lucky if you can find one of these, especially in good condition like this one is. And any of the comments on the auction inspection sheet that are bad things are minor compared to how I expected them to be. One of them is that the hood damper doesn't work, and the trunk damper doesn't work. And so the car is not black. It looks like it is. It's actually a dark green color, which is quite nice in the sun, but otherwise will look black, or at least very close to black. The car has been repainted basically everywhere, but the quality of the paint looks to be high, and it looks like it was polished recently, which is a good sign. If you touch the paint, it feels like a car that's been polished and clay barred. Okay, so here's the inspection sheet. I'm going to translate this for you in just a sec, but first off, we're going to switch that engine off. And if you haven't driven one of these, you probably don't understand how good it is to drive. And if you have, you probably do understand, or you don't have enough experience driving lots of different cars, because most cars aren't as good as this are. This is, pardon me. So it's a 93 Chaser. This is a Tourer V, which is the turbocharged 1J version. Caution grade 3.5. It says exterior and interior C. Now I would say interior is quite good, except for the smell of cigarettes inside, and the exterior is better than a C as well. So I think that they graded this one kind of hard. That's not to say that they're always graded hard. Each auction house has its own kind of, well, to be honest, there's not that much difference from one auction house to the other, but sometimes inspectors are harder on the cars than other times. Anyway, sales points are Tourer V model with an original 5-speed manual. The difference between an original and an aftermarket swap, which is also very common, is about $1,500 or $1,200 or so. It's a one-owner vehicle, original alloy wheels, various scratches, dents, door mirror scratches, windshield rock chip, interior scratched, wear and dirty, cigarette burn, that's in the door card. And audio has been removed. It says oil leak, but I couldn't find an oil leak anywhere in the engine, nor do I see any of it dripping down onto the ground. And so I'm not sure where the oil leak is coming from. We can send it to a shop to get that fixed if you want. Tail light cracked, seat saggy, rear hatch damper doesn't work, and the hood damper doesn't work. If you look at the body here, it says W2. W2 means repainted. And so both front fenders, all 4 doors, both rear fenders have been painted, and then the hood and the roof have not. Now it does have some other marks for scratches on it. Really, there's almost nothing on the car that's even worth mentioning in this report in terms of the damage on the car, except for the hood has a lot of scratches on it that have been touched up with touch-up paint. And then because of that, you can actually see the scratch more. Now the JZX90 is a fantastic looking car. I remember right when we were getting into this about 15 years ago, these cars didn't appeal to me at the same level as people kind of were starting to talk about them. And to me, it always struck me as weird. Well, for one, I hadn't taken it for a drive, but secondly, I feel like the looks of this have kind of matured and look better now than I thought that they used to. Nowadays, you don't have cars that are really car-shaped anymore. Most of the cars are kind of shaped like a crossover or something like that. So the 3-box design is something I think a lot of people miss the looks of. You can still get it in some cars, but the low hood line, the very long wheelbase, the low roof, even in what companies like, BMW makes cars that look the 3-box design, hood, roof, and trunk. Mercedes-Benz does, Audi does. Got some dents there. They still don't look the same as this. And they called this the tall boy look because the waistline is up so high. Nowadays, all the waistlines are up high. Small dent here. Scratches on the hood. So there's this scratch and this scratch that are light scratches. And then touch up, scratch, touch up, scratch, touch up, scratch. Again, again, again. And there's one on the fender. Right here. I'm just going to show the profile because I love the look of these from the side. And when it looks like a nice long hood there, but when you're driving, the hood feels short. And I think part of the goodness of driving this comes from the feeling of being right at the pivot point between the front suspension and the rear suspension. I'm not sure. I could be making that up, but it has a quite unique feeling in that respect. Okay, so into the interior. As I said, it does smell like cigarettes, which is kind of gross to me and to other people, so that needs to be cleaned. There's the cigarette burn. All original inside here. It's the steering wheel. This original one, you can see some cracks in the top of the steering wheel from age and like UV wear on that. Seat also has sagginess, as the auction sheet mentioned. Seats are good. I'm not totally in love with them in the way that I love so many seats. Seats are a hard one to get right because not only does it have to look good and feel good to sit in, it also has to be good feeling after you've driven for 4 or 5 hours if you need to. So 112,000 kilometers puts this at really low mileage. These vents are loose. The AC works. The audio is gone. Thankfully, no cigarettes that were left in here. Traction control off. You should just tape that button down. And the reason why these have become such popular cars for drifting, and I'm sure some people have heard me say this before, is that they're so reliable, and so reliable driving them hard that you don't have to spend very much money or time with the vehicle off of the racetrack. Now, I recommend that for this one, because of how clean it is, don't turn it into a drift car. But I don't know, maybe eventually it'll make its way there. Okay, so that's basically the whole walk around for this Toyota Chaser. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video, and have a nice day.